Today we're going to do a fire making video. I've seen a lot of times scouts have their preconceived notion of how they want to build it, so I'm going to show you what works best for me, and hopefully you can use it and learn to build fires yourself. Good. So the first thing you need to do is gather tinder, and when you're selecting tinder, that's the very tiniest fuel. Think of the stuff that birds use to make nests. You want to pick elevated tinder, stuff that's off the ground because it'll dry quicker. And you want to gather these small twigs like off this spruce. These are dead branches that the tree's getting ready to shed. So I'm going to pick these up. But they're elevated, there's air moving around them and that keeps them dry. Spruce and hemlocks are good trees for fire building. The trees have resins in them which help catch the fire. Okay, so there's three different types of fuel that you need for your fire, and the camera person will zoom in a little bit here. So you have your pile of tinder, and then you move up to some different sizes of kindling, and then lastly you have your fuel. And the thing about your fuel is it'll only last 1 hour for each inch of material that's here. So these logs might only last half an hour. So you'll need a large amount of fuel depending on how long you want to build your fire. So what I like to do to build the fire, coming in closer, is I like to start by putting 2 pieces of my fuel wood down. So that way when I start putting my tinder and kindling on, it doesn't drop down and smother. So I'm going to put my fire starting material in. This is some dryer lint, and then I also have a wax papered fire starter that we made. So I don't put wood in. I don't build a traditional fire set like most people. I like to get my fire starter burning and then add my kindling to that, and tinder, or tinder and then kindling. So the dryer lint should light off fairly quick, and then I'm going to get my piece of wax fire starter burning, and then as that starts to burn, that wax will keep it burning for a long time. Then I'll start to add my kindling to that to get that to start. You can see the resins, how it started burning real quick and burning black. And I'm just going to start layering this in and across, because this will burn up very quickly. And as I start getting some of that to burn, I'm going to add some of the kindling. The softwoods, the spruces, and the pines are good to get a fire started, but they're not good to cook on. So I'm going to keep increasing the size of the sticks that I'm putting on to try to get some heat generated and build some coals. When you're selecting woods to burn, you want stuff that's going to break cleanly, not stuff that's going to just bend and not snap. That means it's still green and it won't burn very well. And then I'll add the larger fuels. And that's my technique for building a fire. Just a brief note, when I said earlier that softwoods like pines and hemlocks aren't good for fueling a fire, they're only not good if you're going to be cooking on them. If you're going to be just having a fire for show, then the softwoods are fine for burning. The wood just won't last as long. If you're cooking, you want to use hardwoods like maple, oak, birch. That'll give you a longer lasting, even heat. One other thing I forgot to add is before you light your fire, you want to make sure you have all the fuel and tinder and kindling that you're going to need. You don't want to have to leave your fire ring to go get more material. You need to have that all gathered before you light your fire.